We start off this triple header of USL League One action on this Friday. North of the border in Toronto, Canada, it's Toronto FC 2 and South Georgia Tormenta FC here from BMO Training Ground right here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Josh Eastern, happy to be with you here on this Friday afternoon. A big match for Tormenta as they try to stay alive in the playoff push. A win is needed for them to stay alive into next week. And Toronto FC 2 will be looking to close this season strong. You can see right there, Jacob Schaffelberg back into the lineup for Toronto FC 2. But let's look at some players to watch. We'll start with Toronto FC 2 and Jordan Peruzza. 12 goals this season. That is second in the league, and he is trying to apply some pressure to Ronaldo Demis, who sits atop the goal-scoring leaders in USL League One. Peruzza has been the star of the attack all season long, and when talking with Coach Michael Rabaska, he just says he continues to do his business. He has great movement off the ball, and when Peruzza has been in the lineup, he has gone no more than 2 games without scoring a goal. He scored 3 goals in the last 4, and he scores a goal just about every game and a half when you look at his minutes per goal that sit at 129.3 minutes per goal. On the other side, for Tormenta, this has been a team just decimated with injuries, but it has provided an opportunity for a player like Mikey Rowe to get more playing time, and he has impressed with 2 goals so far in the month of September. John Millarese said they've had chances to win games, and they've missed those chances, but he thinks about 5 of the last 8 really could have gone either way, but that's just how it goes sometimes. He also wants his team to work and fight to finish this season. They can control a lot of things, but he says working and fighting are 2 things that they can control. This has really been a tale of 2 seasons for Tormenta. They started off 7-1-4, but just 1-7-6 since losing that first home match of the season against Forward Madison. And that is a team they are chasing now in the playoffs as they try to get there today. So it is Tormenta and it is Toronto. Tormenta needs a win to stay alive, while Toronto's trying to close the season strong. Lineups and first kick coming up next from Toronto right after this. Back here in Toronto, the team's taking to the pitch today. It's Toronto in all red. It's Tormenta in all white as we get set for this matchup here today in Week 27. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for both sides. We'll start with the home side. 6 changes to Michael Rabaska's starting 11. And it includes the return of Jacob Schaffelberg, just his 2nd appearance since he was signed by Toronto FC in MLS. He did make 1 appearance on August 17th at Richmond, but then at the top of the formation, Jordan Peruzza, Ramos Mingo, and Bunk Anderson are the 2 center backs today for this Toronto side. As for South Georgia Tormenta, they're without Charlie Dennis, who is suspended due to yellow card accumulation with 5. So 3 changes to the lineup. Dalton Knutson will slide to the outside while Connor Antley will move a little bit higher up the pitch to that holding midfield spot, while Marco Micheletto will be pulling the strings just underneath Mikey Rowe at the top of the formation. Take a look at what is at stake today in this match today. A loss would eliminate Tormenta, but that match next week against Greenville could be important if Madison loses their match today or draws. It'll be a very interesting final match of the triple header today, but it's all about right now for Tormenta. They have to win to stay alive here in the chase for the playoffs. Here's a look at Jacob Schaffelberg. He spent some time at MLS so far this season. And we are just about set to go here on a beautiful sunny day, albeit a little bit windy from Toronto. Underway here from BMO Training Ground. It's Tormenta and it's Toronto FC 2. And it is Tormenta going left to right, while Toronto will go right to left. So it is Toronto FC 2 coming off a 3-1 loss at Greenville Triumph last Friday. And they were eliminated as well last week from playoff contention. But still plenty to prove for this side as they look to close the season strong. They have 7 wins so far on the season. They will look to try to get up to as many as 10 here with 3 matches to go if you include today. 2 road matches against Richmond and Chattanooga next week. As for Tormenta, they have got to win to stay alive. We'll keep pounding that into your guys' brains as this match continues. Such an important match for this South Georgia Tormenta side as they try to stay alive. They were up towards the top of the League One standings early on. We went through their records early on in the season. They were 7-1-4 in the first 12 games, but the last 14 just 1 win. Here's Schaffelberg going for goal, and he rattles the right post. You're just about a minute in. So already Schaffelberg making an impact back into the lineup for Toronto FC 2 and Michael Rabaska. That is definitely something here for Tormenta to look out for as this match progresses. Already a minute in, and a shot off the post for Schaffelberg. There's once again Pablo Jara in goal for this Tormenta side, and he will get a touch on the ball here. This Tormenta side coming off a 1-1 draw at Lansing. That was a big road point for this Tormenta side against a very hot Lansing Ignite team that is looking to potentially clinch that 2nd seed, but they need the help of Greenville losing. Here's Marco Micheletto getting into the box, looks to provide an early moment. It's saved by Klanowski. Both goalkeepers being called into duty early on. The right post rattled on one end, and Klanowski had to make a save on the other. An early goal could do wonders for this Tormenta side as they look to come forward again with Nick Wells. He has it taken away by Jesus West. So already both teams coming out here and looking to get on the score sheet early on. Here's Gomez now in the middle for Tormenta. You can see number 3, Connor Antley, usually one of the fullbacks for this Tormenta side, but John Millerese wanted to move him a little bit higher up into midfield as they want a little bit more athleticism in the middle of the park. Without Charlie Dennis, they'll have to replace a player with 3 goals and 2 assists, but a little bit more than just those 3 goals and 2 assists. Provides a lot of opportunities for this attack. He's also a pretty tough matchup for the other side, being at 6'2" and being an attacker. Though Toronto have their tall enforcer in the middle today, Noble Okello, who stands at 6'4", right in the middle of that formation for this Toronto side. Here's Jacob Schaffelberg, and he couldn't quite keep possession, and out for a goal kick. It'll give us an opportunity here to catch up with these last few opportunities. We'll start with Jacob Schaffelberg from outside the box, rattling that right post. It was wide of Pablo Jara, who couldn't do anything about it, and then Micheletto on the other end. A great save down to his right for the captain today, Eric Klanowski. Klanowski comes into today with 23 saves on the season. And there is Marco Micheletto. 8 goals and 2 assists for him. He assisted the first goal in USL League One history, scored by Alex Morel. Will this be kept in? It looks like it will not. Our referee today is Marko Kalic. He will be the man in the middle wearing the black jersey today. There's Jesus West looking to play it in the middle for Ralph Priso. Now it's Patrick Bunk Anderson, who's been a staple at the back at center back for this Toronto FC2 side this season. Priso looked to play it wide for Jaden Nelson. The attacking options that Toronto has today at their disposal really impressive, with Perusa up top, Schaffelberg out on the left, and Jaden Nelson looks like he's slotting in on the right here early on. Three very young attackers that could definitely see some time with the Canadian national team when their time comes. Jaden Nelson has spent some time with the youth national team. Here's Noble Okello, who's actually was on the Gold Cup side earlier this summer for the Canadian team. Just 19 years old, stands at 6'4". So plenty of young Canadian flair in this Toronto lineup today. Of course, two young Americans who have seen some time in youth national teams for the U.S. in Griffin Dorsey and Ayo Akinola, both on the bench today for Toronto. Here's Ramos Mingo, who scored a goal last week at Greenville off the set piece. It was his second goal on the season. This Tormenta side has to win to stay alive here today, but we talked with John Milleresi, and he says he doesn't want to go for it too early. He wants to see kind of how the game plays out, because you have to be realistic. If they chase the game right away, they could go down. He has to be pragmatic about his attack today. And we've seen already Toronto has been dangerous going forward so far in the early going. Looking for Perusa in the box. Dante Campbell will put this out of play. A throw-in coming now for Tormenta. We're about 7 minutes in. Something to note for Dante Campbell today, just one yellow card away from a suspension. Dalton Knutson will throw this in. He spent some time at center back so far this season, but gets moved outside to the left. Well, Josh Phelps and Jordan Skelton will form that center back duo for Tormenta this afternoon. Also into the lineup today for Toronto is Antonio Carlini out of Ottawa, Ontario. Just 18 years old, making his pro debut here this afternoon. Number 85 in red today for Toronto. Schaffelberg once again on the left. His cross into the middle. It looked like Perusa was there, but it will be a foul. Ball went out of play anyway on the attempt, but Perusa already causing some trouble to that back line. Looked like he was defended by Josh Phelps, and there is Antonio Carlini, the young 18-year-old from Ottawa. His pro debut today. Definitely a day he will not forget. Wells looks to keep possession, and he does. Mikey Rowe now plays it wide for Nick Wells. Back for Micheletto. Into the middle for Connor Antley. Okello is tracking back. Antley's able to keep possession. Deflecting around, and Rowe is able to play it wide here for Nick Wells. Looking for some room. His cross is deflected. Comes for Michael Meekum. And now it's Gomez as he looks forward. That far side as the wind whipping around here at BMO training ground. numerous changes really for both sides coming into this match today. The 3 for Tormenta, the 6 for Toronto. As Campbell knocks this out of play, a throw-in upcoming here for Tormenta. A team that has really been decimated with injuries this season, but Nil Vignals is on the bench today for Tormenta. Might see him feature later on today. Arslan, a shot, it's blocked. Trying to keep possession, but Ramos Mingo is able to clear it away. Only as far as Phelps. Now sent all the way back for Pablo Jara. Some pressure being applied by Schaffelberg. And you'll see Marco Micheletto. He'll be playing right underneath Mikey Rowe today. And he has really moved around a lot for this Tormenta side. A couple weeks ago, he was playing more of a holding midfield position, a little bit deeper of a role, but as the number 10, he likes to get up the field and he can be more dangerous when he is closer to goal. And today he is, and we'll see if Tormenta can use him in some goal-scoring opportunities. There's a foul there in the middle as Bunk Anderson came up from his center back position. Mikey Rowe finds himself on the turf. Another look at the foul right there in the middle. Bunk Anderson just a push in the back. And Bunk Anderson getting a talking to by Marko Kalic. Talked with John Millerese this week about maybe what to expect with this Toronto side coming into the match today, and he says nothing will be different with them. They still have to impress an MLS team as they are in their development stages and they're still at the proving ground. And this is a lineup with a lot of potential when you look forward into their future. Schaffelberg already a bit of a glimpse as he has signed an MLS contract with Toronto. Got plenty of young talent on this side with Noble Okello, Jaden Nelson, and many others in this lineup and on the bench today. They have 3 more matches. This is their final home match when they hit the road for Richmond and Chattanooga Wednesday and Saturday. Carlini looking to gain possession in the middle. And it will be a foul against Gomez, and he'll have to back away. Gomez will get a quick talking to here by the referee. Thumbs up from Gomez, and he's ready to keep playing. Wow. Here's Okello. This is played out, and it will be a corner kick. Jaden Nelson standing over this. Will he be the one to put it back in play? He will. Right into the middle, looking for Peruzza. He gets his head on it, and right into the corner. An opening goal for Toronto FC 2. And now Tormenta, hold everything back. And it will be a foul against Jordan Peruzza instead. They'll bring this all the way back just to hold things up for a moment. Boy, that could have been a big moment early in this match. And really in the league standings at that. A ball sent in. We'll look at Peruzza. He was battling with Michael Meekum. You could see the referee right away was pointing the other way. We weren't sure if he was pointing. That's usually what they do when a goal is scored or a foul, but Marko Kalic wanted the foul on that occasion. So the goal off the board. And boy, that could have really shaken things up for Tormenta. This Toronto side's come out with a lot of energy Tormenta, the team on the road, trying to match that here today. These two teams have already played twice this season. It was a very back and forth match. The first time these two teams played in Statesboro, it was a 2-3 road loss for Toronto. And it was Toronto going down to 10 men in that match as well. But then Toronto was able to answer back and get a 3-0 home win on July 12th. That was actually their last home win before the Orlando City B win just 2 weeks ago. And Toronto at home, they're 5-3-5 overall. They started off 4-0-3 with the wins against Tucson, North Texas, Lansing, and this Tormenta side. So this early in the season was not a place that teams had success. And all of a sudden, really, things changed. They played two really exciting matches Toronto did against North Texas right here earlier this season. Now here's Nick Wells as he looks to play it wide for Mikey Rowe. And Jesus West clatters into him, and play will continue. Mikey Rowe down behind the play as Toronto look to counter. Here's Carlini. Now it's Peruzza, who thought he had his 13th goal in the season. We featured him in the pregame, trying to apply some pressure to Ronaldo Demis at the top of the goal-scoring chart here in USL League One. In North Texas, they only play one more time. Well, if you count today, Toronto still 3 matches left. So still a very open race for Peruzza as he chases this down at the back. It's given away, Okello, and he'll have a shot. And it's saved by Hara in the end as he picks himself up off the turf. There was a foul back on the other end. Jesus West just running into Mikey Rowe. Really could have gone either way. I think Rowe might feel a little bit hard done. The play continues. Here's Nelson. Carlini and Antley battling for it. It's Antley to come away with it, and then the foul comes from Noble Okello. As Tormenta get the ball rolling again very quickly. Schaffelberg deflects this out. Throw in now coming for Michael Meekum in his second season with Tormenta. A 4-year starter at UNC Wilmington. This one out for a throw-in now. Priso will play it back, and now it's Bunk Anderson on the ball. So early on, there were a few opportunities both ways. Schaffelberg hit the post on one end, and Micheletto forced Klonowski into a save just moments later. And Peruzza a few minutes ago thought he had the opening goal, if not for a foul in the box. So a lively opening 18 minutes here from Toronto. Of course, Tormenta need a win to stay alive. Here's Nelson again. He looks to play it wide. Dante Campbell coming into the attack. The cross into the middle, and Meekum was there to cover. Otherwise, Peruzza looked like he finally would have found his goal. Now here's Noble Okello. It's cleared away by Skelton. And Mikey Rowe tracking back is able to win it back for Tormenta. There have been opportunities for Toronto, more so than Tormenta early in this match. They've yet to find their moment. Of course, the first match of this triple header on this Friday, the final Friday triple header of the season. Greenville and Orlando up next. It's underway at 7 Eastern, and then Tucson and Madison will close out the night, and they could close out the playoff participants if Madison can come away with 3 points in that match. Here's Schaffelberg, gets around Meekum, now battling with Wells, and Wells a good job to get a touch on it and clear it away. And then a foul behind the play as Wells kicked that one away, and Schaffelberg will get a talking to now from Marco Kalic. Very well done by Schaffelberg to get around Meekum, and then Wells, who has spent some time at fullback this season. He was tracking back and able to then clear it away. Schaffelberg, such a great young talent for this Toronto FC side. Out of Port Williams, Nova Scotia. Scored his first pro goal against Madison earlier this season. Basically took on the entire Madison back line. Was able to put it in. That was in their road match against Madison earlier this season in April. And earlier this season, we talked with Michael Rabaska about Jacob Schaffelberg, and he says he's really good at being direct, but we're just looking for a little bit more consistency out of Schaffelberg. He has 2 goals and 3 assists here in USL League One. Really good young talent for this Toronto side. Now Perusa looking to get free. Might he get on the end of this? A push in the back, but play will continue as Phelps went to ground, and Antley's able to come away with it. Maybe he'll be able to start an attack. Antley again, he gets tripped up, and play will continue. Look there at Michael Rabaska, the head man for this Toronto FC2 side. Here's Schaffelberg again. West. And Campbell plays it wide for Jaden Nelson. His cross will take a bounce in the box. It's cleared away by Josh Phelps. And this will be a corner kick upcoming now for Toronto once again. Their second of the match. They thought they had a goal on their first corner kick. We'll see what service Nelson can provide. Player that Michael Rabaska says has great technical tools. The youngster could be with the Canada U17s upcoming. So he puts this into the middle, looking for Ramos Mingo! It's off the hands of Hara and in! The opening goal for Toronto FC2. You could feel it coming from the home side, and now Tormenta really up against it here on the road with their playoff lives hanging in the balance. But it's Franco Ramos Mingo, his second goal in as many weeks. And it's 1-0 to Toronto FC2. Another look at it, a service. Ramos Mingo got away from his defender and was able to find that bottom right-hand corner. Looked like Pablo Hara got a touch to it and deflected it off the post and in. The opening goal for Franco Ramos Mingo, the Argentine, who signed here in Toronto in March of this year. He's been in and out of the lineup with injury. He was suspended a few weeks ago due to yellow card accumulation. Earlier this season, he picked up a red card as well. But here, picking up his 3rd goal of the season. And Toronto right back at it, and that will be a yellow card for Tormenta's number 6, Ricardo Gomez, for taking down Schaffelberg. Already a few fouls for Tormenta's holding midfielder today. Something to monitor here as we're just about midway through this first half. A big moment upcoming here for Toronto as they look to potentially double their lead. It's the 2 youngsters in Jaden Nelson and Ralph Priso to stand over this. think it will be the right foot of Nelson or the left foot of Priso. Looks like Nelson will take this. Send it in towards the back post area into that corner, and Bunk Anderson unable to track it down, and looked like just a miss hit there by Nelson. There's potentially an opportunity to go for goal, but this one will roll out of play. Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. One back here by Micheletto. This will deflect out for a throw-in. As Tormenta now, they need at least 2 goals if they want to keep their name alive in the playoff picture. Otherwise, it will be down to just 2 teams between Madison and Chattanooga. Of course, Madison can end that talk tonight with a win. Another throw in here coming for Tormenta. So we're past the midway point of this first half, and there have been chances both ways, maybe a little bit more so for the home side. This Tormenta team have really battled it as of late. They've now conceded 25 goals in the last 15 games. That was opposed to just 7 goals in the first 12. Played ahead for Micheletto. He's unable to keep possession, and it's sent back for Eric Klanowski in goal. This Toronto side right now would be on their way to their 8th win if things stand with where we are right now at 1-0, and they'd be looking for their most wins ever in a USL season. They spent the last 3 seasons the USL Championship. Of course, now in USL League One, they have 7 wins, and they're looking to potentially make it a team high 8 wins if they can find 3 points in one of the final 3 matches on their schedule. That includes today. And when this Toronto FC2 side scores first, 6 wins so far this season. Here's Carlini, the youngster making his pro debut today. He's had some good moments on the ball. Slip through for Perusa. Okello couldn't quite find him, and it's cleared away by Tormenta. See John Millerese there in the technical area. Boy, have they been really up against it in the second half of the season, trying to find the right formula, find some results. Been unable to do so as Micheletto goes down. And he says now with Charlie Dennis out for this match, not due to injury, just yellow card accumulation, he says he's just trying to continue to reinvent the wheel tactically each week. So many faces coming in and out due to injury, then yellow card suspension, whatnot. Really had to piece it together here at the end of the season. And they were one of the most dangerous teams early on, and one of the best defensive records as well. You have to give them credit. They have fought and they have tried to stay in the playoff picture as long as possible, and they are still there fighting as Nelson goes down that right flank and wins another corner kick here for Toronto. Priso and Nelson standing over this. Nelson has taken for all of the set pieces so far, and he will do so again. Towards the near post, takes a bounce in the box. Asking for a handball was Perusa. Campbell, his follow-up, will go out of play and hit the netting behind the goal. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Of course, if you are out of the country, they will also be on YouTube. Right at the half-hour mark of this first half, and it is Toronto with the advantage. Franco Ramos Mingo in the 23rd minute. A second assist as well on the season for Jaden Nelson. This one's flicked forward by Wells, and Mikey Rowe now on the ball. Still looking for at least an equalizer here early on. They'll need at least 2 goals now because they'll need all 3 points to stay alive. Mikey Rowe still on the ball. He gets taken down by Priso. That's the second time he's been taken down, and the referees let play continue. Carlini just not on the same page there with Campbell, but he's able to keep it in play. Now Okello. It's Carlini again. It's John Millerese. Now played wide for Schaffelberg. As Meekum goes down, his cross floated in the middle towards the back post. It's cleared away. Perusa pushing the back. And that will send it back to Tormenta. And you can see that attacking duo, just how dangerous it can be with Schaffelberg and Perusa. Schaffelberg out on the wing, and Perusa that target striker for Toronto. Played into the middle, and that's another giveaway by Tormenta. That time a little bit too easy. Toronto has really dictated the pace of this game. A few opportunities going forward for Tormenta. Maybe another one here. Nicoletto's in the middle. Mikey Rowe is up ahead as well. Ramos Mingo, the goal scorer, is able to read that pass and clear it away. Sent all the way back for Pablo Jara. And this pressure being shown by Toronto, and it's really giving Tormenta some fits. Looked like the ball stayed in play. Now Perusa's on it. He'll go for goal. And that one was always going wide. And out for a goal kick. Another look at the attempt by Perusa. Always has an eye on goal. He thought he had his 13th of the season, but was called back earlier on. Now here's Antley in the middle. And taken down. He was triple teamed About 4 red jerseys in there, and it was only Antley by himself. Back for Skelton. And now here's Antley. Can he provide a big goal for this side? It's played over the top, looking for Jad Arslan. And this one will come back. It looked like the flag was up here on this near side. So near 10 minutes until halftime here from Toronto. Wonder when Tormenta will have to really turn it on with their attack. If they need 3 points today. John Milarese said he didn't want that to happen too early because they could find themselves down, but here we are, 35 minutes in, and they are down 1-0. It's one back here by Arslan, and he provides the service needed. This one's knocked out. It will be a corner kick here for Tormenta, the first of the match. Looks like Marco Micheletto will stride over and take this corner kick. Looks like the big body's coming forward here for Tormenta, with Phelps and Skelton, the 2 center backs, along with Knudsen, who got pushed outside to left back today. Micheletto, a high looping ball towards the back post. Knocked back down in the middle and eventually cleared away by Toronto. It looked like it set up nicely there for Tormenta. They got the initial header at the back post, but nobody was waiting there in the middle in time. Meekum to throw it back in. I'm sure a goal here for Tormenta as we move forward in this match is to get Mikey Rowe involved a little bit more. There he is there. With Milarese about Mikey Rowe this week, and just getting a few more regular games, and that's why he's tallied up a few goals lately. The injuries have forced him into duty, but he's taken advantage of that opportunity. He was behind a few players early on in the season. He said he's gotten into a nice little groove lately, and he said flat out he's a goal scorer. He scored a tremendous free kick against Richmond a few weeks ago back at home. Goal of the week, a long free kick. It was in off the crossbar. That was another one of those early goals that Tormenta has scored, and he also asked Milarese about that, and he said, well, there's really no rhyme or reason for it. It's kind of how it's worked out. But no early goal today, and they'll have to do what they did last week against Lansing and find an equalizer. They came away with a 1-1 draw on the road here at Cooley Law School Stadium. Mikey Rowe, you can see him dropping a little bit deeper and trying to gain some possession in the midfield for Tormenta. Looks like the wingers are getting high up the field. Here's Arslan. Looks like the flag up once again, and this is something that road teams have seen quite a bit here in Toronto. Early on in the season, North Texas was offside. Off the top of my head, it was about 14 times in their match, the first match between North Texas and Toronto. Klonowski puts this back in play. And that will be a foul. This will be a set piece opportunity now upcoming for Toronto. Looks like Skelton committing that foul on the edge of that final third. As it's put right back in play. Jesus West. Nelson once again on the ball. He falls down. And Tormenta here with Jad Arslan look to get back into the attack. Advantage being played. Looking for Mikey Rowe, and Arslan gets it back. Nick Wells is in the middle. And Bunk Anderson will clear this away for a corner kick. Arslan took a bit of a heavy touch there and allowed Bunk Anderson to get back into the play as he was charging back. It will be a corner kick once again for Marco Micheletto. Set up nicely on the first corner kick just a few minutes ago. We'll see what he can provide here. Micheletto towards the back post. Phelps is there and into the side netting. Beautifully set up there by Tormenta, but unable to direct that one on frame was Josh Phelps, the big center back. Good opportunity from a set piece. Phelps was up for it and just a little bit too far wide. It was a matter of inches. It looked like Klanowski might have gotten over there, but never know. We stay at 1-0 with about 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time until halftime. Schaffelberg on the ball again. Down this left side. And a giveaway right back to Tormenta. Can they find something in these last few minutes of this first half? A long switch of play. Nobody was there in a white jersey and out for a throw-in. And Toronto is leading at halftime. They are 5-1-2. Schaffelberg looking for Perusa, surveying the scene is Perusa. Back for Jesus West. Now it's Priso. This Toronto team in this first half has been very dangerous coming forward. Here's Carlini now on his debut, looking for a debut assist, and this one's headed away by Skelton. Perusa was in there, and it's out for another corner kick for Toronto. And they've all been on that right side. And Nelson has taken all of them so far with the outswinger. It looks like he'll take this again. Priso and Nelson. Will be Nelson again. Right into the middle, headed the way by Meekum. Falls for Dante Campbell again, who will clip it back in. For Schaffelberg going for goal, and he slices it out of play. Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Once again, that pressure being shown as Tormenta look to play out of the back. Now they'll have to go over the top, looking for a second ball. And this will be a throw-in for Tormenta. Knutson will put it back in play. Mikey Rowe. Plays ahead for Connor Antley. He's going for goal, forcing Klanowski into a save once again. As he has to parry that away. Eventually cleared out for a throw-in. Klanowski has made 2 big saves so far in this match. Back the other way, Meekum and Schaffelberg. And Schaffelberg is able to get back on his feet, send a cross towards the back post. Knutson brings it down. Peruza battling for it. Knutson is eventually able to come away with it. Seems like whenever Tormenta has an opportunity back on their attacking end, Toronto really wants to get back and try to counter, and there will be no stoppage time. There is the final whistle. We are through 45 minutes here from BMO Training Ground, and through Franco Ramos Mingo. It is Toronto FC 2 that are on the scoreboard. It is 1-0 to the home side. We go into the second half. Tormenta, they need 3 points today. And they will be needing at least 2 goals to keep their season alive and apply some pressure on Ford Madison tonight. So plenty of opportunities for Toronto in that first half. Tormenta had theirs as well. But 45 minutes down, 45 to go. It's Toronto FC 2-1 and South Georgia Tormenta 0. Halftime coming up next right here on ESPN+. Halftime here in Toronto between Toronto FC 2 and South Georgia Tormenta. Week 27 got off to a wild start out west on Tuesday night. Greenville and FC Tucson. It was Greenville trying to clinch a berth in the playoffs, and boy, did this have a tremendous start for the roadside. Dominic Boland across all the way through, and it finds Cameron Saul. That was the first goal in the 3rd minute, and then later on in the first half, basically right before halftime, Cameron Saul's first shot is saved by Carlos Marancio, but Cameron Saul gets it back and just gets it under Marancio once again. It was 2-0 going to halftime. Then a penalty there for Jordan Jones, bringing a goal back. It was then 2-1 with about 40 minutes to go. And then it was setting up for a wild finish. Substitute Jamel Cox gets on the field. Here he goes. He gets the ball and fires it into the right corner with moments just before stoppage time, and all of a sudden 2-2. And basically the game and the season hanging in the balance. And then Greenville, this is a walk-off goal. You do not see this in soccer very often. Chris Bermudez going end-to-end. He puts Greenville into the playoffs. What a moment for John Harkes and Chris Bermudez and the entire Greenville Triumph team as they go out west and they clinch a playoff berth. So a triple header here today. This is the first game of 3. And Tormenta, they have to win to stay alive in the playoffs. Then coming up next from Greenville, South Carolina, Greenville and Orlando, they will try to chase down that 2 seed. And then Tucson and Madison. Can Madison be the 2nd straight team to clinch a playoff berth in Tucson? And North Texas Soccer Club, they are the champions here in USL League One in the regular season. The first to 50 points, and they will host that home semifinal on October 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And that opponent still up in the air. But what we know so far is North Texas is the champions, and they will be hosting that match. And they can host the final as well as the #1 seed in the playoffs. It has been a tremendous season for them. A pretty good season as well for Lansing Ignite FC, as they are trying to chase down that 2 seed right now, still in a battle with Greenville Triumph. They clinched that playoff berth on September 7th, but they could be that 2 seed in the playoffs if they can keep winning, and hopefully they can have Greenville drop points as well. So 2 of these 3 teams are in the playoffs, in Lansing and Greenville. The order could change whether Greenville gets the home match or Lansing, but there is the run-in for both of those sides. Forward Madison, they can clinch a playoff berth tonight at Tucson. They do not want to leave it up to that last match at Lansing. Lansing could still have something to play for there on that last Saturday of the season. So Forward Madison trying to take care of business tonight. These are the 2 teams chasing them and hoping that Madison can drop points. Chattanooga plays Richmond and Toronto at home. Obviously, South Georgia Tormenta and Toronto going at it right now before they finish at home with Greenville. Both these teams still alive, but with very slim chances at getting into the playoffs. So plenty going on around USL League One. Let's go check out what's going on in the USL Championship.
Let's go with the left foot, Jamal Johnson. What a goal! Perfectly placed. And to splice this New York defense with a curling effort. That's incredible! What a goal by Tenorio! Johnson, though, going to hurry things up. Tenorio giving a blast! Goal! Clever will take a shot. He fires it home for a classic. Cicerone to the back post. Sliding it in! What a start for St. Louis! Tyler Blackwood.
Wharton and Espria in it as well. Williamson strikes and puts it in, a 4th for T2 on a beautiful strike.
Asante saved by Cochran.
And a save by Morton. Through and a diving stop.
Punched away by Laurel. Follow, kick save Laurel. And this.
It's a hammer. Oh, that's an important intervention by Logan Ketterer.
On, Klaus fires, and back of the net, Paul Klaus. Find one here, ball swept in. Headed on, up and in, and just like that, Toronto answers.
Ball played forward up the side, Moon trying to drop it back. Tries the left-footed shot and finds the back of the net. Nick Moon, in stoppage time in the first half, breaking the deadlock.
Rayo now, for Rodriguez, going for that top corner, what a save by Silvestre. The midfield for Richmond, calls for Wheeler Amanu, and a shot saved by Fitzgerald. Still around the box for Chattanooga. The shot by Caparelli's pushed aside by Herrera. Austin Amer.
News and notes from around USL League One. As we mentioned just before, Lansing Ignite and Greenville, they still are battling for that 2nd seed in the playoffs. And then right below them, a 2-week race to the finish. Forward Madison can end that race tonight if they can win against FC Tucson. And Paul Klaus gets Greenville a good win over Toronto last week at home with his first goal of the season. He gets Player of the Week in USL League One. Let's take a look at the goals leaders in USL League One. Ronaldo Demis still at the top with 16 goals. Jordan Perusa, though, if you count today's game, still has 3 games remaining, and we'll see if he can put some pressure on Ronaldo Demis there at the top. Tumi Moshobani also making an appearance on this list. as he got into double figures with 10 goals on the season. The assist leaders are Arturo Rodriguez, one of the most complete players in USL League One, 7 goals and 9 assists, while Rafa Mensingen with 7 assists just below him, trying to put some pressure on him at the top, while Bolduc and Zaguro with 6 assists each. Then the goals against leaders, it's still Jalis J at the top, .680 goals against average. He gave up 2 goals on Tuesday against FC Tucson. Brian Silvestre, the only other goalkeeper under 1, while Pablo Jara is in there at 1.23 goals against average. Let's take a look at the scoreboard just to get you back up to speed. FC Tucson taking care of Greenville, as we showed you those highlights. And then last week in week 26, it ended in Madison, that dramatic 1-0 win for the Mingos, while Lansing Ignite and Tormenta, that was a big 1-1 draw for South Georgia Tormenta, as they still try to get into the playoffs. As you look at the standings, the only team still alive for a playoff berth, 6, 5, and 4, right there on your screen. Tormenta with a loss or a draw, they are out, while Chattanooga, they need a win tomorrow, but it could all come down to tonight. If Madison can win, they are in against Tucson. And here is the schedule upcoming. We finish off our triple header in Tucson. The game kind of sandwiched in between there is Greenville and Orlando City B, while Chattanooga will host Richmond tomorrow night. So one more break, the second half coming up from Toronto right after this. Teams coming back out onto the pitch for the second half. It's 1-0 to Toronto FC 2 against South Georgia Tormenta. Let's go back and look at that first half, where the top moments from the first half are halftime highlights. Toronto FC 2 and South Georgia Tormenta. And early on, right off the bat, Jacob Schaffelberg making his name known, back into the lineup and ringing that right post with a shot. This was really in the opening moments of the match. And then this was just moments after that shot. Back on the other end, Marco Micheletto able to get on the ball and get to the outside and forcing a save out of Eric Klanowski in goal. So right off the bat, an opportunity for both sides, but still 0-0. And then Jordan Peruzza, he'd get his head on it and put it into that corner, but it was called back. Peruzza thought he had his 13th goal on the season, but it was all for naught. And then a few moments later, very similar situation off a corner from the far side. Jaden Nelson for Franco Ramos Mingo. he's able to make it 1-0, a second goal in as many matches, and his third goal on the season. And then Peruzza, he always has an eye on goal. He was looking for another one right there, but just sending it wide. Tormenta would have a few corner kicks towards the end of the half. Josh Phelps, this was maybe the closest they came on either of those, but his header into the side netting just a little bit too far wide. So that is where we stand at the end of this first half, and there will be a substitution here for Tormenta, and it is Ya Amankwa to come on. Trying to change something. It's his 5th appearance here on the season. The Ohio State grad in his first season with Tormenta. He was a Big Ten champion a few years ago, and he's trying to help this side now get into the playoffs here today. The teams will switch ends. It's now Toronto going left to right, and Tormenta going right to left. Underway here in the second half. Season hanging in the balance for this Tormenta side. They need a win today to stay alive in the playoff picture. So there is the sub. Nick Wells is the one to come off. Plenty to play for here in this second half for Tormenta. Toronto looking to close the season strong. They're looking for their team high in wins. Past few years they've gotten no more than 7. They have 7 here this year in USL League One. They're looking for win number 8 so far this season. The record when scoring 1 goal, it's honestly not very good. It's just 1-6-2 when they score 1 goal. So Toronto may be looking for some insurance, while Tormenta is absolutely looking for at least 2 goals. Will be a foul, and now a free kick upcoming. So Mankwa is in. Number 17 looking to provide some attacking threat. Still Kobe Perez, Chinya Cadono. That could be 2 more players to provide more attacking moments if needed. In the meantime, Micheleto swings in a low free kick. This one's cleared away by Peruzza and out for a corner kick. So Tormenta starting out on the front foot here in this second half. So look to put a little bit of pressure on this Toronto back line. It's Micheleto again. Swing it right in the middle, looking for Skelton, but Ramos Mingo was up for it. Carlini chasing it down in the corner. Find Bunk Anderson, who can knock it a little bit farther away. Meekum now comes away with it. Another cross in. Almost tested Klanowski in goal, but this one sails straight out of play for a goal kick that's taken quickly by the Toronto goalkeeper. You look at the offsides numbers so far this season. It's taken away by Antley. Trying to slip it inside for Amankwa. I was unable to get there. As Toronto look to come back the other way. Schaffelberg there on the far side. In the middle for Peruzza. Carlini now cutting inside. Jesus West will knock it back. Toronto building into the attack again. It's Schaffelberg on it. All the way into the corner. Toronto able to be very patient with this 1-0 advantage so far. As Arslan clears it back upfield, but nobody was there. At a certain point in this second half, Tormenta will really have to start chasing a result as they try to find something out of this match. Toronto really dictated the pace in that first 45 minutes. They're looking to gain some more control here in this second half. Enjoying a good long spell of possession here. 4 minutes into this second half. Jesus West to play it wide, and this will go straight out of play for Tormenta throw-in. Schaffelberg has been a good addition to the lineup for this Tormenta, or pardon me, this Toronto FC2 side, giving Tormenta plenty to think about on the left side for the Toronto attack. Given away right to Noble Okello. Hard to miss him at 6'4", right in the middle. Now Schaffelberg cutting back infield, putting a defender on his back. And now he clips it in, looking for Okello. Nelson at the back post, bringing it down. But he was in an offside position. And the AR getting a talking to from the substitutes who are going to warm up. I guess they had the same view she did in that occasion. They were not too pleased. We showed you the offsides numbers just a few minutes ago, and it's quite skewed. We talked with Michael Urbaska about this. This was probably a few months ago at this point now. Said there's really nothing to it on our end. It's just that's kind of how it happens. 78-18. It's just kind of one of those random stats that includes today. It's just one of those random stats that has just somehow come to be. And it was after that first matchup with North Texas Soccer Club early in the season. And when they had about 14 or 15 offside calls, 14-2 in that match earlier in the season. And it's turned into one of those things that's kind of caught our attention as broadcasters throughout this season. Through the legs of Jesus West, or pardon me, Dante Campbell, Connor Antley all the way into the box, and eventually grabbed by Klanowski. Red jerseys collapsing there on the ball, and eventually grabbed by the Toronto goalkeeper. Another look at it here, giving Dante Campbell something to think about as Antley getting into another attacking position. He's been dangerous, but he's been moved into the midfield today for this match with Charlie Dennis suspended due to yellow card accumulation. And really what we've seen in this match so far is Mikey Rowe dropping, basically holding play up for Tormenta, and they're getting the wings higher and higher up the field. So they want some more athleticism in the middle with Antley, and that's exactly what Millerese has been able to do so far today, but has not been able to turn into a goal as of yet. As things stand now, Tormenta still need 2 to stay alive. It looks like we will get a substitution. Neil Vinyals will come on. And it will be Michael Meekum coming off, and he will go out on the far side. It's one of those new rules being instrumented as the officials will make the players go off at the nearest point of exit. So Vinyals will come on, trying to inspire something into this side. Now it's played wide, all the way across. It's still bouncing around, and it's out of play. See, this took a deflection off of last. Perusa was in there. And he has really been knocking on the door of trying to find another goal here today. And for Vinyals, this is the first time back in the lineup since August 3rd against Greenville Triumph, that 1-0 loss for Tormenta. And here's another look at this. Schaffelberg providing the service. And it did deflect out. And it will be a corner kick once again for Jaden Nelson. So good to see Neil Vinyals battle back from injury, back into the lineup. Well, Michael Meekum is the one that was sacrificed. So 2 subs have already been used as Nelson swings this in. They'll get another attempt at this corner. Nelson again. Towards the near post again, flicked along by Perusa. Just the wrong side of the post. He wasn't far away. But boy, does this player just have a knack in front of goal for getting any sort of touch on it and trying to test Hara in goal. That one a little bit farther wide. Such a dangerous presence in the box. Looking for Amankwa. Brought down by Carlini, distributed wide for Schaffelberg. Now Okello, part of the Gold Cup squad for Canada this past summer. Out of play, another throw-in now coming for Toronto. As Mikey Rowe gets taken down, and this one will be called for a foul. He went down a few times in the first half. No foul came, but that time it did. Phelps looking upfield. Still one more sub is left for John Milleracey. See when he decides to use it. Looks like Antley has moved a little bit farther back now, with Vignals coming back on. His first appearance about a month and a half for Tormenta's number 8. His third season with Tormenta out of Winthrop University. Here's Gomez on a yellow card. Gonna keep possession here for Tormenta. Being hounded right now by Jaden Nelson. Gomez has to retreat all the way back to Pablo Hara in goal. As Hara distributes wide. Micheletto will look to get on it, and he does. He gets it right back. Maybe something here for Tormenta. Slipping it wide for Arslan, and this one will run out of play. Arslan had to make sure he was still onside. It's a little bit too heavy of a pass. That's a positive moment there for Tormenta. So just been unable to find that final moment in front of goal. And of course, 2 more matches coming up later tonight. We'll head down to Greenville, South Carolina, as Greenville and Orlando get going at 7 Eastern. Orlando City B been very good as of late, been dangerous, and they're trying to maybe create some havoc on the end of this season. They'll get Greenville as Greenville look to capture that number 2 seed in that home playoff match. And of course, Tucson and Madison will close out the slate later tonight. That could close out the final 4 teams in USL League One as we fight towards the playoffs in this inaugural season in USL League One. Away by Vignals. Back into the middle. Arslan on this near side. It's Mikey Rowe, though, once again. Playing a little bit deeper. Schaffelberg now. Gets by Antley. Still Schaffelberg. They go down in the box. There's contact. And this will go against Schaffelberg and against Toronto FC, too. That really could have gone either way. Luckily for Tormenta, it goes their way. Another look at it here. I think in the end that was the correct decision. Schaffelberg was trying to lock arms there with Antley. Sure, the other side of that, Schaffelberg will say, I was being fouled. It's a good battle down that left side of attack for both of those really two fine soccer players. As Arslan tries to track it down, Campbell will put this out of play, and he does win a throw-in as it deflected off of Arslan last. Here's Perusa, taken away by Gomez, and now it's Arslan. Into the middle, Vinyals. Sent forward again and flying through the air, and that will be a foul. Going back the other way, I believe that was Carlini, as the flag was up anyway for offside. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Perusa. Get it right back. Trying to get into the boxes, Perusa. Hara off his line and sliding in to take it away from Perusa, who was looking to find another goal. Here's Micheletto back the other way, defended by Priso. Amankwa's ahead of him. Amankwa's on the ball. His cross deflected out. And a corner kick up coming for Tormenta, as we're now into the final half hour here from Toronto. It's 30 minutes for Tormenta to stay alive. Tormenta will end their season next week at home as Greenville Triumph will come to Statesboro. Towards the near post, cleared away by Perusa. We'll do it again. Micheletto once again. Micheletto towards the near post, headed away by Perusa, comes to Vinyals, and now back for Micheletto, and Micheletto is fouled by Perusa, and this will be another free kick for Tormenta, and a yellow card shown to Jordan Perusa. Easy call there for Marco Kalic. You could see on the right side of your screen, had a very good look at that foul. So the second yellow card shown today, the first to a Toronto player. Ricardo Gomez picked one up for Tormenta back on the 24th minute. Can Micheletto provide the service needed to find an equalizer and breathe some life back into this Tormenta side? Micheletto stands over it again. Another outswinger from that right-hand flank. Towards the back post this time. Nobody's there. Eventually tracked down by Ralph Priso. Put out of play. It was Okello who got his head to it to knock it away. Now is John Milleracey trying to find some sort of formula here in the last 27 minutes plus stoppage time. Still one more sub he can use as well. Just three field players to choose from. Shinny Cadorno, Kobe Perez, and Jerry St. Ville. Tormenta's turn to gain some time on the ball, but this one put straight out of play for a Toronto throw-in. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN+. The shot, it's saved by Klinowski. And this one pushed out of play, a throw-in coming for Tormenta. Another look at it here. Just a back heel for Rowe, and Klinowski was up for the save there. This will be a yellow card for Marco Micheletto. So Micheletto handed a yellow card. He finds his name in the book. Looked like that was for dissent. He didn't like whatever he saw. We'll take another look at it. We thought he got fouled. Well, you can see the AR there on the far side call a goal kick. Micheletto didn't like it. He let his voice be heard, and Marco Kalic said, all right, you're in the book. Mikey Rowe, he gets tripped up. Ralph Priso commits the foul. Now the set piece is really starting to mount up here for Tormenta. They've really yet been able to take advantage of one. Take this one short. There's not been a sub used yet by Michael Rabaska and Toronto. A lot of familiar faces on the bench today for Toronto. Here's Vignals. Taken away by Okello. Okello coming forward. Schaffelberg to his right. They slip it for him. Schaffelberg to the end line. His cross. And it's cleared away. Josh Phelps got there. Schaffelberg usually plays on that left side, but this time he was on the right. Looks like the referee will have a talking to with somebody over there. Talking with Connor Antley. Looks like he's coming over towards the technical area. Might have blood somewhere. And Antley will now be attended to here by the training staff. So in the meantime, Tormenta down to 10 men with 23 minutes left. It looks like he's bleeding there from his right knee. So play will continue without Connor Antley as they will look to get him back on the pitch as soon as possible. Here's Priso. Now played wide. Here's Schaffelberg. Campbell. Perusa. Patience, the name of the game right now for Toronto FC 2. Back for Campbell again. He's swinging around now to this near side with Schaffelberg. His left-footed cross headed away. Jordan Skelton got down to head that away, and now it's Campbell on the ball again after the giveaway. You can see that wrap now on the right leg of Antley as he comes back on. Slipped wide for Jesus West. Now it's Nelson. Cutting in field, getting around a defender. Priso. Passed a little bit too far for Campbell, but he collects it. Knocks it wide for Schaffelberg. Now it's Perusa. Schaffelberg again. Into the middle, looking for Nelson. A back heel for Schaffelberg. Keeps his footing and keeps it alive for TFC. Now it's Carlini. This one out for a throw-in. Will favor Toronto. Long spell of possession here by Toronto, and quickly won back now by Tormenta. They're unable to keep the ball. Schaffelberg plays it wide. It's Okello on it now. He sends it towards the back post. Down towards the top of the box. Priso trying to track it down. He does. Now it's Nelson. Nelson going for goal and sends this out of play. A long spell of possession there for Toronto. Just a few touches there by Tormenta. But unable to find something too meaningful out of that one. Who's up? Who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings only on USLLeague1.com. Toronto looking for a team high in wins today in their few years as an organized team. Of course, what is at stake? 9th win would be most in a USL League. While Tormenta, they must win to stay in the playoff chase. So 20 minutes to go to sort all of that up. These 2 goals now have to come in short order here for Tormenta. They haven't had an attack in quite a few minutes now. So Kello able to get free of a few defenders. Defended now by Vignals into the middle for Schaffelberg. And Gomez able to keep possession for Tormenta. But then it's quickly given right back. It's been the issue here in the past few minutes. Tormenta possessions have been very short. Here's Nelson. Taken away by Mikey Rowe. He starts some sort of attack here for South Georgia Tormenta. In the middle for Neil Vignals. A lot of room to work on that far side for Micheletto, but he can't keep it in play. And it rolls past the end line for a goal kick. Tormenta, they have been chasing the ball a lot as of late. This one put out of play, and now a throw-in coming in the attacking third for Tormenta. Vignals. Gomez. Amankwa, and he did possess that with his hand. And right back to Toronto. Now played wide. Here's Perusa. Okello's in the middle. Perusa looking to get around a few defenders. Okello keeps it alive as Skelton went to ground. Perusa. Now it's Campbell. Play it wide to the right for Schaffelberg. Clipping it towards the back post. Hara coming out with a punch and just clears it away. A big collision with Noble Okello. Take another look at it. A beautifully chipped ball towards that back post. Surely would have been 2-0, but Hara bravely off his line to punch that away. Looks like Okello took the brunt of that challenge as Hara was right back on his feet. And Okello will be tended to here by the training staff. Has been a staple in goal all season long for Tormenta. That was Okello gets looked at here by the trainer. Did go out for a corner kick for Toronto, as you can see Priso and Nelson, that far side corner. So Toronto will take this corner kick as Okello comes off for just a moment. It will be Jaden Nelson again. Right into the middle, flicked along towards the back post. And Carlini on his debut is squaring up for that. And this will be out for a goal kick. Carlini was convinced. And now there's some issue here with the referee. Marco Kalic will have to come in and sort this out. Perusa looked like he's already on a yellow card, so he has to be careful here. This is a big decision by Marco Kalic. Looked like he deflected the ball on the goal kick. So it looked like Perusa had kicked the ball away from Hara there. It looked like it took a deflection. That's not what the referee called in the end. As Okello, you can see, back onto the field. But the referee did call for a goal kick. I don't think Perusa knew that, and you can see it looks like Ayo Akinola and Luca Petrasso readying here in the technical area. Looks like a substitution will come on. It will be Ayo Akinola to come on, and it will be Perusa. His day will be done. Already on a yellow card, and I think Michael Rabaska wants him to come off. Maybe a little bit frustrated there for Perusa, but it's Ayo Akinola, a 19-year-old, and the U.S. Youth National Team player. Played in the U20 World Cup for the United States, but is eligible at the full national team level, the senior national team level for the United States, for Canada, and for Nigeria. Decision to be made for him in the near future. Right now he will come on and try to make an impact here in the final about 13 or so minutes. He's making his 6th appearance in USL League One. Made a handful of appearances for TFC and MLS as well. As Mikey Rowe gets taken down again, I feel like they've called his name being fouled numerous times today. So that is the first sub used this afternoon by Toronto FC2. Distributed wide. Now into the box. And it's cleared away. Looked like Bunk Anderson was there. Throw-in now coming from Marco Micheletto. And now we will get another sub coming for Toronto FC2. It will be Luca Petrasso to come on, while the debut of Antonio Carlini is now complete. I'd say a positive performance in his pro debut for Antonio Carlini. He makes his way off as Luca Petrasso will come on and make his 24th appearance on the season. 2 goals and 3 assists for the Canadian U17 national team player. So Petrasso on that dangerous left foot as he Maybe he tries to provide some fresh legs and maybe good service on a set piece should Toronto find one here in the last 11 minutes. Might get a good chunk of stoppage time after these few stoppages here in the past few minutes. There's Ayo Akinola. And a motor down that left side. Akinola, eventually it's taken back by Phelps. Akinola was born in Detroit but moved to Ontario, Brampton, Ontario as a young kid and has now found himself with Toronto FC. Taken back here by Petrasso. Petrasso pushed down by Mikey Rowe. So we're now into the final 10 minutes. And everything on the line here for Tormenta. We saw Tucson go right up to the end last Tuesday against Greenville to start off this week 27. And Tormenta, if they can find an equalizer here, they could make things interesting in the final few minutes. Now here's Ralph Priso. Give Toronto a lot of credit today. They've come out and they've defended very well. They've controlled the game. Ball played over the top. Hara off his line, and all he can do is clear this one away. Possession right now in favor of Toronto, 55% of the possession. When they have more of the possession share this season, just 3, 7, and 6. As West will push this back downfield in the path of Ayo Akinola. Can he make an impact here at the end, providing some fresh legs off the bench for Michael Rabaska? Akinola a bit too heavy and out of play. So 2 subs have been used for Toronto. You can say that Michael Rabaska has used 2 of his more attacking options as the 2 substitutes. As Priso commits the foul. Here's Vignals. Play to this near side for Arslan. Really coming down to it here for Tormenta as they look to find a goal. This one's played wide. Here's Marco Micheletto coming down the right side, going for goal, and just a little bit too high for Jad Arslan. It was setting up very nicely for Tormenta. Micheletto had room to run, and the cross in just a little bit too strong there for Arslan. Now 7 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, and a goal kick here for Toronto. So Klinowski will put this back into play. This is the second match this season in Toronto for Tormenta. They have not scored in either match. They've been outscored 4-0 in total. It was a 3-0 loss for Tormenta back on July 12th. Chested forward for Mikey Rowe, ahead for Amankwa, and the flag is up. Offside is the call. That was like a pretty straightforward call for the AR, and it looks like another sub is coming. And Noble Okello will be the one to make way, while Adolfo Ovalle will come on. Ovalle, the Chilean. And Ovalle, who has spent a lot of time this season as the captain, the holding midfielder for this Toronto side. He comes on, making his 20th appearance on the season. He started 18 of those. Now just 5 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, and Tormenta is pretty much do or die here. They must win to stay alive. This one's played all the way over the top and knocked out of play. Nothing Bunk Anderson can do but do that. And now they'll have to defend a set piece. Looks like Amankwa will take this one short for Micheletto. And he is fouled. And now a set piece once again for Tormenta. Time starting to really run thin on South Georgia Tormenta. Dante Campbell was not too pleased with that call. So Campbell having his voice be heard, just one yellow card away from a suspension. And now here comes a free kick. Tormenta looking for something here. Free kick taken in towards the near post. And it's cleared away by Toronto. Gomez will chase it down. He'll win a throw-in right about midfield. Here's Gomez again. Pardon me, Vignals looking to play it forward for Micheletto. And this will be out. Tormenta will throw it back in. Arslan. These two Toronto players run into each other, but it will be a foul called against Antley, who was the one to stay on his feet. Now 3 minutes to go. Still one sub is available for Tormenta. Should John Millarese want to turn to his bench one final time. Now Millarese said he'd try to keep it normal until late. I think this is what you'd constitute as late. Just 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And Tormenta still chasing at least 2 goals here. Priso looks to advance the ball, and it's one back. Amankwa. Gomez gets pushed down, but play continues. Nelson. Right for Petrasso, and Nelson gets it right back and gets around Vignals. This cross cut out by Arslan, and Vignals can track it down. This pressure still being shown by Jaden Nelson. Very active youngster, and this will be a yellow card for Jaden Nelson. Going to ground there behind the play. So Nelson has his name taken into Marco Kalic's book. Second yellow card of the match for Toronto. And Hara will put this back in play. Wonder what the stoppage time number will be at the end of this. Sent back downfield. And Akinola turns around and looks forward. still on the ball, playing it wide now for Schaffelberg. He's able to stay on side. Schaffelberg didn't have numbers in the box, so he'll turn things around and slow it down. Here's West. In the middle for Priso. And now it's Nelson, but taken away. Can Tormenta track it down? They can't. It's about 30 seconds to go until we find out how much stoppage time we'll get. Here's Priso. Toronto look to play it forward again down that left side. And Campbell will see this one played out of past the end line. A corner kick now for Toronto, and they can take their time as we get into stoppage time, and it's looking rather bleak here for Tormenta. And it will be 6 minutes of stoppage time. That is a big number here at the end of this second half. So 6 minutes left, and Tormenta, they must win. Here's West. Now for Schaffelberg, looking to get around Knutson. And the flag will be raised by the AR here on the near side as Schaffelberg went down. So Schaffelberg back on his feet. Toronto trying to play quickly. Marko Kalic will bring this back. Another look at it here. Knutson and Schaffelberg. Collision between the two. It's now 5 minutes to go. Tormenta still trying to find at least an equalizer here today. Toronto able to play through the pressure. It's played wide for Schaffelberg. Towards the end line, going down in the box. And the referee waves it away as Schaffelberg down on the turf again. But play will continue. He's off the field. And Tormenta now coming forward. Antley cannot keep possession. It's Nelson. Schaffelberg just picking himself up back behind the goal. Now here's Nelson. A spin move and a foul. This one against Tormenta. Schaffelberg's taken a couple of spills here in the past few minutes. I've got to say, that looks like a penalty, but Tormenta get the benefit of the doubt. So 3.5 minutes to go. Play down this near side, looking for Micheletto. This will be a throw-in now for Toronto. John Millerese coaching until the very last moment here. For midway through the minimum of 6. Taken away by Phelps. He goes down. As Toronto come away with the ball. Petrasso looking to provide the service into the box towards the end line. Phelps comes away with it. We're nearing 2 minutes left in this match. Ovalle now for Akinola. Slipping it forward for Petrasso, who is in an offside position. Gomez puts it in play right away. just wonder if this Tormenta team was just a little bit healthier this season, what the final product would have been. But right now, they're fighting to stay alive. They've battled through this entire season. They were up towards the top of the table early on. They've since fallen off. Just one win in their past 14 matches. They've conceded 24 goals in that span. Toronto team already eliminated, but you give them a lot of credit for coming out today and really putting in a good performance. Konofsky looking for a clean sheet today for this Toronto side. Be just the 7th of the season, and Konofsky, well, there have been 4 goalkeepers this season for Toronto FC too. And he would then move into the most clean sheets if Konofsky can hold on to this with 3. As Hara puts it back into play. As we look ahead to the rest of the night, Greenville is up next, as they will play Orlando, looking to chase down that number 2 seed in the home semifinal. And then it will finish off with Madison against Tucson tonight at 10:30 Eastern time. Madison going out west for the first time. And it will be them and Chattanooga battling still for that last spot in the playoffs. And we'll have to see what happens in that match tonight. But there is the final whistle. All 3 points for Toronto FC2. And with the 3 points for Toronto, it spells the end of the playoff hunt for Tormenta FC, as it finishes Toronto FC 2-1 and Tormenta 0. Michael Rabaska and his side finish the season at home with a 6-3-5 record overall. A good win for Michael Rabaska's side. They now have the most wins in their club history for Toronto FC2 in a USL League. A good win overall for this Toronto side as they get a marquee win. Ramos Mingo was the goal scorer. We'll take a look at the highlights from this match. The goal coming there in the first half. There were opportunities for both sides. Early on, it was Jacob Schaffelberg back in the lineup for the first time in over a month and ringing the right post, basically straight off the bat. That would be the beginning of a lot of pressure and a lot of attacking moments for Toronto. But then on the other end, just moments after the post was hit by Schaffelberg, Micheletto, in what could have been a dream start for Tormenta. Konofsky was there to get down to his right and make the save with his right hand. A big save there, and then the disallowed goal. Peruza looked like he found his 13th goal in the season, but the referee Marko Kalic called it back for a foul. And it would stay 0-0. And then a corner kick once again. This one would find Franco Ramos Mingo, and right into that right corner. That goal came in the 23rd minute. The assist goes to Jaden Nelson, the 3rd goal of the season for Ramos Mingo. Then we moved ahead to the second half. There would be a few chances coming for Tormenta as they'd press forward to try to find an equalizer and eventually a winner, but they would find neither. This one was Connor Antley getting into the box. The penalty shot was waved away, and Konofsky would eventually come away with it. The attacking moments in the second half were few and far between for Tormenta. They had a few set pieces, and in the end, they are eliminated. And it was Toronto really on the front foot in this match. You can see their 10 shots to just Tormenta's 5. They also had 55% of the possession in this match. So it ends Toronto FC 2-1 and Tormenta 0. And a look at the standings. Tormenta officially eliminated from playoff contention. The most points they can get is 37, That's not enough to catch Madison with 39. Up next, it's Greenville and Orlando before Madison and Tucson close out this triple header. So we're through the first match of 3, and you can see it really starting to set in here for Tormenta. Their playoff dreams are done here in 2019. They will look forward to next season. It has been a tough latter part of the season for this Tormenta side. Injuries have really decimated this team, but in the end, it ends with elimination. So that's going to do it this afternoon from Toronto. It's the home side capturing a win in their final home match of the season. So that's going to do it for our entire crew. I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Toronto, where it finishes Toronto 1 and Tormenta 0. Stay tuned for more USL League One action right here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.